Hello guys, this is Doron's Movies, and today I'll be giving you the lore of Stormwind, going through the vast history of the city and everything that happened up to today. So without further ado, let's get into the lore. 1200 years ago, the Kingdom of Stormwind was founded. For a very long time, the once mighty Arathi Empire that united all of the humans crumbled, and gradually it split into various smaller human kingdoms and city-states. Unlike other kingdoms, Stormwind was created by the descendants of the Arathi bloodline, the same family that once united the human tribes and defeated the trolls. And while most of the other human kingdoms were in the north part of the continent, Stormwind was in the south and was very much isolated from almost all of the other human nations. For well over 1,000 years, Stormwind was a very rural kingdom, but also very self-sufficient, meaning that it didn't really trade or interact much with others. The capital was Stormwind City, while various small towns and villages dotted the fertile lands. For a long time, many people lived outside of the actual city, but some 100 years ago, the city would be the only sanctuary for the humans as the first biggest threat arose. Ever since the creation of the kingdom, the gnolls have been a nuisance, but one that was very easily dealt with as internal strife constantly plagued them and most of the gnolls died to their own hand. However, that would soon change as a new gnoll leader rose up in ranks, and for the first time ever, he united all of the packs into one army. This was a nightmare for the humans as all of their settlements were constantly raided and many citizens sought refuge within the actual city. Stormwind was hardly a match for the united gnolls due to their superior size and united numbers, and they desperately asked other human kingdoms for help, but they were quickly denied. This created a bitterness towards their northern brethren, but nevertheless, the king had to take matters into his own hands. He outsmarted the gnolls and avoided their armies, instead secretly striking at their leader, which was completely devastating as the rest of the gnolls fell into complete chaos after that, and Stormwind was saved. Peace came once again, and the people of Stormwind were now confident that they could handle any threat that would arise, but little did they know what was to come. Some 75 years later, the first war started as the orcish horde invaded Azeroth and Stormwind was on the front lines. Many lost their lives and all of the human settlements were destroyed, and eventually, with the assassination of the king, Lanevrin, the city itself fell to the orcs and was completely reduced to rubble. The survivors and the remnants of the army fled all the way north to Lordaeron, where they swore to retake their home under the banner of the newly formed Alliance. Through great sacrifice and some internal strife within the Horde, the Alliance was successful, and as the orcish grasp weakened, Alliance forces were able to take back the ruins of Stormwind. The city, once again under human control after the war, was under an intense campaign of reconstruction. With the help of various nobles and the other human kingdoms, the Stone Masons Guild, led by Edwin Van Cleef, were hired for this project, along with a small army of engineers and artisans from all over the continent. The project was immensely successful, and soon enough the city was better than it ever was before, with the magnificent Cathedral of Light, the Academy of Arcane Arts, the harbor, the various streets, the buildings and districts. Stormwind was a true wonder of human architecture. All was fine and the city was on the rise, but sadly problems were yet to surface. The Stonemasons Guild worked under the House of Nobles, and both parties were secretly manipulated by Onyxia, posing as the noble Lady Katrana Prestor. The two parties got into a huge fight over payment for the reconstruction of the city, and as Edwin Van Cleef rebelled, the House of Nobles acted swiftly and ordered the Stonemasons Guild disbanded. This further escalated the situation and led to a massive riot, which subsequently led to the death of Queen Tiffin Vryn. Her husband Varian fell into a blind rage and escalated the situation even further by exiling the Stonemasons. Not long after, the Stonemasons transformed into the Defiance Brotherhood, becoming bandits, collecting their promised payment through robbery and extortion. This seemingly solved the imminent danger, but in reality it would become a problem never to be truly fixed. Sadly, this was only the beginning of the troubles Onyxia in disguise would cause, as soon after she orchestrated the abduction of King Varian, and Varian did eventually manage to return and expose and defeat Onyxia, but all of that and all of the time that passed affected Stormwind greatly. After the king's return, Stormwind finally had peace and stability after all it had gone through, but unfortunately, as expected, that didn't last long. Only a couple years later, the Scourge launched a direct assault on the city, which was repelled, but then after the defeat of the Lich King, the city was under attack by elementals, and not long after, a huge attack was followed by Deathwing himself. After the orcs, Deathwing was the second to cause most damage to the city, and through his colossal power, he demolished an entire section that was once a park. Luckily, the rest of Stormwind survived, but the reconstruction project would take a lot of time, money, and effort. Ever since then, Stormwind was really no under serious danger, apart from a smaller incident during Worlds of Draenor, where a part of Gorgrond overgrowth leaked through on a camp just outside of the city walls, but that was swiftly taken care of. In World of Warcraft Legion, Stormwind will be more important than ever as the seat of the Alliance, and finally the Stormwind Park has been rebuilt, greater than it ever was. In order to avoid spoilers, I won't really show any explicit footage, but after all this time, the reconstruction project is finally finished in the new expansion. All in all, Stormwind was a city that had gone through a lot, being destroyed and razed time and time again, but in Legion, as throughout its history, it will be the stronghold of its people. Alright, and that is all I have for this video. Do leave your thoughts and suggestions, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and also like the video as it really helps out and keeps all the content going. Thanks a lot for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and see you next time.